Right now on News Channel 9 at 5, day 3 of wild weather. We're under a severe thunderstorm warning. Storms hitting from New Mexico all the way down into the lower valley.
Plus, we're back in Socorro, one of the areas hit the hardest. Residents trying to clean up and get ready for another wallop from Mother Nature. We've got crews in all corners of the area. News Channel 9 at 5 starts right now.
Thank you for joining us for News Channel 9 at 5. I'm Brianna Pitts.
And I'm Don Gavada. We've got team coverage on tonight's severe weather across the borderland. Zach Real is in Doña Ana County, where the storm first hit our area. Daniela Pardo is live in Socorro, where residents are already soaked from the last 2 days.
We also have Robert Bettis live from the Weather Center, where he's been tracking the storms. But we begin tonight with Chief Meteorologist Chuck DeBroder live in Horizon City, where the trucks are working to clear the roadways. Chuck, what's it like out there?
You know, scenes like this all across the borderland, as you mentioned, third day in a row of severe weather. And we started off today with severe thunderstorm warnings around Hatch, New Mexico, Las Cruces. You got hit with some hail, Anthony, and how about golf ball size hail again in Fabens. Now, as you can see, there's some tractors here behind me that have been shoveling off the road right here on the gateway going west, all the mud that came out of the Sparks community. Now, Ozzie Carrillo, my photographer, and myself drove through Sparks and Horizon. We'll actually go to another lake that's on a road that's named after a lake coming up here in just a few minutes. But as you can see behind me, there are more light showers mainly heading our way. Now let's go to the radar and check with the expert right now. Robert, you've been watching these storms all day. Where is the bulk of the action right now?
All of the main action, Chuck, has moved into Otero and Hudspeth counties, thank goodness, for a while, but that's going to change overnight tonight. Take a look at the radar composite. We, of course, had that storm move right through the heart of Mesilla. A second storm hit Fabens and Tornillo. Another fresh line is coming up from the south as we speak. One node aiming toward downtown. Now, this is not a strong storm. This is just going to deliver some rain, but just south of the border, more thunder showers inbound at this time out over Otero County. Look at that line of storms. That's a severe thunderstorm that's moving its way just south of Pinon in the southern Sacramento Mountains. And of course, Sierra Blanca was hit a little bit earlier with the severe storm and hail. There's that thunder shower that went right through Fabens yet again. And more thunder showers are coming. We've got a low pressure system parked over the southern portion of New Mexico. And as long as that sits and spins, it's going to be a long and potentially dangerous night. I'm going to have your complete forecast. We'll go town by town with rain totals and what I can expect the next few hours coming up in just a little bit. Brianna, Don?
Okay, thank you, Robert. Our team coverage continues tonight in New Mexico, where those storms hit first.
That forced one school to release students late out there. Zach Real is live in Mesquite. With the latest on Zach, have things started to calm down there yet?
Yeah, Brianna, Don, things have calmed down here significantly from when we first got out here, when those storms were first passing through. Right now, we're on the frontage road just off of I-10, and let's take a look at what things looked like earlier when the storm was passing through. Now, you can see through this video, I mean, the storm only lasted here for maybe 2-3 minutes, but what it lacked in time, it sure made up for in speed. It packed quite a heavy punch. There was plenty of rain and hail coming down, and a strong wind picked up. Now, all of that created a flash flood scenario with water coming down off of the higher elevations and washing out some of the frontage road here where we are in Mesquite. Now, if we can take a look at some of that video, as we were passing, me and my photographer Danny came across this scene on the road here along I-10. You can see just how much water was coming off of the arroyo. Some cars were playing it safe and turning around. Others decided to take their chances and cross the road anyway. Now, there were no problems this time, but again, the National Weather Service says if you see a washed out road, the best thing to do is turn around and don't drown. And like I said, things have calmed down here significantly, but if we can take a look behind me, we can see there's still plenty of road in the water. Some of it is there's still plenty of water in the road, excuse me, some of it's still washed out. You can see that truck going there right now. You can see how much water is here. We're going to continue to monitor the situation, but again, no major problems to report right now. For now, live from Mesquite, Zach Real, News Channel 9.
All right, Zach, thank you. Our team coverage continues now about 50 miles southeast with News Channel 9's Daniela Pardo.
Yeah, she's live in Socorro. Daniela, this is day 3 of heavy rain for that area. What are people doing to keep their homes from flooding, or is there even anything they can do?
Well, Brianna, right now I'm on Thunder Road here in Socorro. I spoke to the man who lives in this home. He's lived here for the past 40 years. He's preparing for chances of rain and hail. He even has his sandbags ready, and he even dug ditches on his property to prevent the water from going inside. Tony Quesada says the arroyo that's on the end of the road is open, so when it rains, the water spills onto the road where he lives. Quesada tells me the city bought the land in front of where he lives that's meant to be flooded with excess rainwater. He says, however, it hasn't been enough, and he continues to spend a lot of time and money to protect his home.
I'm 70 years old, so I gotta protect myself now. I can't be doing all this by myself nowadays.
Quesada tells me he plans on gathering with his neighbors to go to Socorro's mayor and city council to see if there's anything else they can do to stop the water from affecting their homes. And of course, we'll continue to follow this developing weather situation here in Socorro on air and online at elpasoproud.com. For now, that's all from Socorro. Daniela Pardo, News Channel 9.
All right, Daniela, thank you. We hope things don't get worse for folks out there. Well, crews in Socorro were busy today filling sandbags. That's that noise you hear. The Public Works Director says they are free for residents who need them, but there is a limit of 12 per vehicle. We are told more than 1,000 sandbags have already been distributed since yesterday, and given what you saw, you can understand why.
We try to keep at least 1,500. Our goal is 2,000 on hand. We'd gotten a little low through the summer, and we were all hoping that the rainy season was over, but we didn't quite meet that goal yesterday with a horrible storm.
All right, folks, if you need sandbags, there are 2 places you can pick them up. You can get them at the Community Center on Rio Vista Road. The other option is the Socorro Recycling Center. That's on Huelco Tanks Road. Again, they are limiting you to a dozen sandbags per car.
Yeah, those 2 locations will also serve as drop-off locations for debris following the severe weather. State Representative Mary Gonzalez and the Lower Valley Water District arranged the drop-off locations. The addresses are on your screen. Again, you'll be able to drop off debris between now and next Wednesday, October 14th. Gives you some time to certainly clean up and get things situated.
All right, let's check the roads and see what things are looking like. This time yesterday, the roads were a mess. I don't think it's going to be that bad right now. You're looking at I-10 and Vinton. Things are looking pretty clear there. You can see the clouds there in the background, but no major problems out there at all.
Right, that's far west. Let's move over to some east side cameras if we can get those up here and try and contrast the 2. I-10 in Harnos, last night, that was absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
The roads were flooded tonight, looking much, much better. So again, still severe weather, but we're not seeing that heavy flooding that we had yesterday.
All right, let's take you back to last night. This was the scene on Mesa Road. This was just before 11 o'clock, and it was more like a river, that west side thoroughfare that takes you to the west side from about downtown all the way well past Sunland.
Yeah, some lanes were completely underwater. In fact, water was almost reaching up to the license plates on some vehicles. Of course, drivers carefully maneuvered through some intersections, but again, most of the medians had actually disappeared under all of the water. You can see some pops of lightning in the sky there in that video.
Well, if you do find yourself driving on streets that look like that, like what we just showed you, there are some precautions that you should take. El Paso Water Utilities shared these tips earlier today.
Yeah, of course, if you know ahead of time that a street or sidewalk is flooded, don't drive down it or try to walk down it. Just take an alternate route.
Yeah, you never want to drive around barricades. You always want to avoid streets where curbs are barely visible as well.
Yeah, and of course, don't let children play in canals, ditches, or ponds. It's tough to know what kind of debris could be in there.
All right, our friends down in Juarez are having some problems with all the storms as well. Take a look at this. You can see a lot of damage. This is from hail. You can see a number of cars in that parking lot just ruined from the hail that fell, large chunks of ice. One of them so powerful, you see right there, it knocked out that entire back windshield, that car as well. So folks over there on the other side of the border dealing with a lot of the same issues that we're dealing with here as well. Well, as viewers, you too can be part of the News Channel 9 Weather Authority by sharing your best weather pictures and video.
Yeah, thanks to you, we've been able to capture some amazing shots of the storms these past couple days. News Channel 9's Vianney Arana joins us live in the studio with a look at her social media weather photos. Vianney.
Brianna, Don, it's day 3 of this very active weather pattern, and I've been monitoring Twitter, Facebook, across the borderline. Our viewers have done a great job of keeping an eye out on the storm in their area, giving us a look of the storms through their camera lens via Facebook and Twitter. I want to go and show you some photos. Now, this is out in Horizon. This is actually as that storm was approaching. Of course, the storm has already passed through that area. Out in the Socorro area as well, they started seeing some of that storm approaching. It's already made its way through. But this next one was sent in via Facebook by Javier Ponce out in Socorro. Jed Bluden shared these next photos that have caused quite a stir, and that's because it looks like a landspout tornado. We did reach out to the National Weather Service, and they stated it was not a warned tornado storm and referred to it instead as a landspout gustnado. And of course, we want to remind you to please share your weather photos via Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whichever account. You can also email us directly. But safety first. Don't forget to also follow Chief Meteorologist Chuck DeBroder as well as the National Weather Service of El Paso. But remember, safety first. Brianna, Don.
Okay, thank you, Vianney. Well, thank you for making News Channel 9 at 5 a part of your Wednesday afternoon. Coming up,
a local student will get some big bucks, some help to get to college, details on his scholarship that's making him El Paso proud. And looking towards the weekend, Brianna cheering on the Cowboys for this weekend's big matchup against the Patriots. All this weather's made her change her mind.
Don wrote that.
That matchup coming up next in sports.
You're watching News Channel 9 at 5 with Don Guevara, Brianna Pitts, and weather with Chuck DeBroder.